Imagine a world where machines and biology intersect. What would it look like? This is the enigmatic realm of artificial life. Artificial life, often shortened to A-life, is a fascinating field where the lines between the biological and the artificial become beautifully blurred. It's a concept that's been around since the mid-20th century, but it's only in the past few decades that we've really started to see its potential unfold. So, what exactly is artificial life? Well, it's a broad and multifaceted discipline. At its core, it's about understanding life by attempting to recreate it in non-living systems. These could be digital, like a computer simulation, or physical, like a robot. It's about creating life from non-living matter, not in the Frankenstein sense, but in a more sophisticated and scientific way. One form of artificial life that's grabbing headlines is bio-inspired robotics. These are machines designed to mimic the behaviors, movements, and characteristics of living creatures. From robots that fly like birds to those that crawl like insects, these creations take inspiration from the natural world to solve complex human problems. Then there's the intriguing world of synthetic organisms. These are not robots, but living organisms created in a lab. Scientists use the principles of synthetic biology to design and construct new biological parts, devices, and systems, or to redesign existing natural biological systems. In essence, they are writing the code of life from scratch. The pursuit of artificial life is not just about creating new forms of life, but also about gaining a deeper understanding of natural life itself. By trying to recreate life, we are learning more about what life is and how it works. But it's not all rosy. As with any field that pushes the boundaries of what we know and understand, there are ethical and societal implications that need to be considered. What does it mean to create life? Who gets to decide what is created and why? Artificial life is not just science fiction, but a rapidly evolving field that is blurring the lines between the biological and the artificial. One of the most exciting areas of artificial life is bio-inspired robotics, but what does it mean? Well, bio-inspired robotics is a branch of robotics where the mechanics and functions of robots are inspired by biological systems. It's about borrowing designs from nature, not to replicate it exactly, but to learn from its millennia of trial and error. Now you might be wondering, how does this work? Let's take the example of a robot inspired by an octopus. Researchers study the way an octopus moves, how it uses its tentacles to grasp objects, and how it changes color for camouflage. They then incorporate these features into a robot, creating a machine that can operate in complex underwater environments, just like our 8-armed friend. But don't think that bio-inspired robotics is limited to the animal kingdom. Plant-inspired robots are also a fascinating area of research. Imagine a robot that, like a vine, can grow and navigate through tiny spaces, or a sunflower-inspired solar panel that tracks the sun for optimal energy collection. These innovations could revolutionize fields like search and rescue operations or renewable energy. The applications of bio-inspired robotics extend beyond our imagination. In medicine, for instance, robots modeled after bacteria could potentially navigate through our bodies to deliver drugs with pinpoint accuracy. In space exploration, bio-inspired robots could help us traverse the harsh terrains of distant planets or moons, just as a beetle navigates through a desert. This field is all about synergy. It's about taking the best of biology and the best of technology and combining them in ways that can solve real-world problems. It's about understanding that nature, through evolution, has already solved many of the design problems we face. So the next time you see a robot that moves like a snake, flies like a bird, or swims like a fish, remember, it's not just about mimicking nature. It's about understanding and learning from the ingenious solutions that life has already figured out, and applying them to the challenges we face as humans. Bio-inspired robotics is not about replicating nature, but learning from its ingenious solutions and applying them to solve human problems. Moving from machines to biology, we enter the fascinating world of synthetic organisms. Synthetic organisms, in the simplest terms, are living entities that are not the result of natural evolution, but have been designed and created by humans. This isn't sci-fi, it's real, and it's happening right now in labs across the globe. The creation of synthetic organisms involves a process known as genetic engineering. Scientists manipulate an organism's DNA, the blueprint of life, to create new, unique life forms. They essentially write genetic code, much like a software developer writes code for a new app. The result? Organisms with capabilities that far exceed what nature intended. One of the most groundbreaking examples of this technology is synthetic bacteria. Scientists in a lab not too long ago successfully created a bacterium with a completely synthetic genome. This bacterium could reproduce, making it the first truly synthetic organism. The potential uses of synthetic organisms are vast and incredibly exciting. They could revolutionize biotechnology, leading to new medicines and treatments for diseases that have long plagued humanity. Imagine a world where we could engineer bacteria to seek out and destroy cancer cells, leaving healthy cells unharmed. It sounds like science fiction, but it could very well be our reality in the not-too-distant future. Beyond medicine, synthetic organisms could also play a crucial role in environmental conservation. We could design organisms to consume pollutants or greenhouse gases, helping to combat the pressing issue of climate change. But it's not all sunshine and roses. The creation of synthetic organisms presents a Pandora's box of ethical dilemmas. Who gets to decide what types of organisms are created and for what purpose? What happens if these organisms escape the lab and enter the natural environment? These are questions we must grapple with as we stand on the precipice of this new frontier. Synthetic organisms are a testament to human ingenuity and hold great promise for the future. But they also raise important ethical questions. As we continue to explore the enigmatic world of artificial life, we must tread carefully, ensuring that our curiosity does not overshadow our responsibility to the natural world. While the potential benefits of artificial life are vast, they also bring about a host of ethical considerations. As we delve deeper into the world of synthetic biology and bio-inspired robotics, we enter a territory that's not just scientific but philosophical and ethical as well. Creating life is no longer a realm reserved for nature or divine beings. We humans are becoming creators, designing organisms and machines that mimic and in some cases surpass natural life. This raises profound questions. What does it mean to create life? Do we have the right to do so? There's a certain sense of awe and power that comes with creating life, but also a sense of responsibility. The potential risks are significant. Artificial organisms could impact our ecosystems in unpredictable ways. Bio-inspired robots could be used for malicious purposes. There's also the risk of the technology falling into the wrong hands or being used irresponsibly. This is not to paint a dystopian picture, but to highlight the importance of careful thought, regulation, and oversight. As we push the boundaries of science, we must also push the boundaries of our ethical thinking. We need to engage with a broad range of perspectives, from scientists to ethicists, policymakers to the general public. We need to consider the potential benefits and risks, to weigh the promise of innovation against the value of precaution. The question of creating life is not just about what we can do, but what we should do. It's about aligning our technological advances with our values. It's about ensuring that our pursuit of knowledge and innovation doesn't outpace our wisdom and compassion. There's an old saying that knowledge is power, but as we gain the power to create life, we must also gain the wisdom to use that power wisely. This is the challenge and the opportunity of artificial life. It's not just about creating new forms of life, but about creating a new understanding of life itself, of our place in the universe, and of our responsibility as creators. As we continue to push the boundaries of artificial life, it becomes increasingly important to consider these ethical implications and ensure that our technological advances are aligned with our values. As we stand on the brink of this new era, what does the future hold for artificial life? That's what we're here to ponder. We're not just talking about the next 5 years or even the next decade. We're looking forward into the deep future where the lines between biology and technology are not just blurred but virtually non-existent. In this future, artificial life could take on forms we can barely imagine today. We're talking about advancements in artificial intelligence that could lead to self-aware machines capable of learning, adapting, and evolving on their own. These AI-driven organisms might exist as digital beings in the cloud, or they might inhabit physical bodies interacting with the world just as we do. But it's not just about AI. Synthetic biology is another key player in this future. We're already seeing the early stages of this with the creation of synthetic organisms, bioengineered to perform specific tasks. In the future, we might see these organisms become more complex, more capable, perhaps even achieving a form of life that's entirely new. And then there's the integration of these technologies. Imagine a future where synthetic biology and AI come together, creating hybrid entities that combine the best of both worlds. These entities could have the robustness and versatility of biological organisms, with the processing power and speed of AI. They could inhabit any environment, from the deepest oceans to the vacuum of space, expanding the reach of life as we know it. But with these possibilities comes a host of questions. How will we define life in this future? What rights and responsibilities will these new forms of life have? And perhaps most importantly, how will we ensure that the creation of artificial life benefits all of humanity, and not just a select few? The future of artificial life is uncertain and full of possibilities. As we continue to explore this new frontier, one thing is clear: the boundary between life and machine is becoming ever more blurred. The dawn of a new era in our understanding and creation of life is upon us, and it's a journey we're all a part of.